What someone may find if they were able to step back and reflect on their life is that they continually end up in situations where they feel unloved, unwanted, and even invisible. Now, this could mean that they have had a number of relationships that have been anything but fulfilling. But while this could be the case, this could be how they feel around their friends and when they are at work. Of course, their friends are not going to meet the same needs as an intimate partner, and their colleagues are not going to meet the same needs as a close friend, let alone an intimate partner. However, in each of these situations, a number of their needs are going to be unmet. The reason that intimate relationships are likely to be the area of their life that is likely to cause them the most pain is because they will expect more from this area of their life. So, if they have been with a number of people who haven't been able to truly be there for them and ended up feeling deeply deprived, it would have caused them to suffer. Due to how many times this has taken place and how deprived they feel in general, they could be well and truly fed up with what is going on. At this point, they could believe that someone or something out there is holding them back or punishing them. Or they could just see themselves as a powerless victim when it comes to this area of their life. What could make this even worse is if a number of people have told them that they are a good catch, or words to that effect. These people may have also told them that they are simply unlucky and that they just need to be patient. If they have done a number of things to improve their appearance and even their social standing, it could be even harder for them to accept. They will then have done all the right things, but it won't have had much of an impact on their life. They may have moments when they wonder if their life will always be this way, and if they just need to accept it. Still, even if they do have moments like this, their need to deeply connect to another person in particular, and others in general, is unlikely to disappear. If they were told that what is taking place in their life is largely a consequence of what is going on for them at a deeper level, they could end up feeling confused. Said another way, what is taking place in their unconscious mind is likely to be what is causing them to spend so much time being emotionally deprived. This part of them will contain pain and unmet developmental needs, among other things. And although both of these elements can typically be outside of their conscious awareness, they will still be having a big impact on how they experience life. If they continually end up in situations where they feel deprived, there is a strong chance that they were deprived of what they needed during their formative years. This may have been a time when they were physically harmed and/or neglected. It then wouldn't have been possible for one or both of their parents to provide them with the emotional nutrients that they needed to grow and develop in the right way. To be more specific, they are likely to have been deprived of the eye contact, touch, adoration, and presence, for instance, that they needed. If they were not egocentric at this stage of their life and had a somewhat, if not fully developed, thinking brain, they might have been able to see that they were treated this way thanks to their parent or parents being unable to love. Yet, as they were egocentric and didn't have a fully developed thinking brain, they would have personalized what took place. Therefore, they would have felt unloved, unwanted, and as though no one cared, and these feelings reflected reality, and this would have been due to them being worthless, unlovable, and bad. But, as they needed their love, care, and acceptance to develop in the right way, they wouldn't have been able to accept the reality of the situation and feel their feelings, as this would have been too much for them to handle and threaten their survival. To handle what was going on, their brain would have automatically repressed how they felt, and they're likely to have gone into a shutdown state. They're also likely to have created a false view of their parent or parents, and they would have probably done what they could to try to receive their parent or parents' love. But if they were unable to love them, this approach wouldn't have allowed them to receive what they needed. As ineffectual as this would have been, it would have stopped them from having to face how they truly felt. Many, many years will have passed since this stage of their life, but they will have unconsciously been doing what they could to avoid their true feelings and receive what they missed out on. Clearly, the people who they have looked towards to meet their emotional needs won't be their parents, but part of them won't have realized this. By unconsciously projecting their parent into another person, a big part of them will have hoped that they would finally be loved, wanted, and cared for. The challenge is that as they will have created a very similar scenario, they will have once again been deprived of what they needed. Not only this, another adult will only be able to meet certain adult needs that they have, but they won't be able to meet their unmet developmental needs. For them to gradually put an end to experiencing life in this way, and to move out of a shutdown state so that they can actually receive, they will need to face the pain and express the unmet developmental needs that are inside them. This will take courage and patience and persistence. Throughout this time, there are likely to be moments when they will experience resistance, and considering how much pain they are likely to have inside them, this is to be expected. This is a time for them to be kind and gentle with themselves. So with that said, if you can see that you have been engaging in repetition compulsion for as long as you can remember, so you have been looking towards people who can't be there for you, who can't give you what you need to be there for you and give you what you need, then this can show that during your early years you missed out on what you needed. But facing up to that fact, facing up to that reality would have been too much for you to handle. And although many years will have passed, you will continually be looking towards others, towards strangers, to give you what you were deprived of. And as I said, not only will you be looking towards people who can't give you what you need, but you will also be looking towards people to give you things that another adult can't give you. And by facing up to what really happened, by facing how you really felt, and expressing your unmet developmental needs, then you will gradually be able to move beyond this stage and to look towards someone who can be there for you, and to look towards them to meet needs that they can also meet. And as I've said, working through this pain is not going to be easy. So naturally there can be resistance, but through hanging in there and not giving up, you will gradually drain away this pain, and you will be able to reconnect to yourself so that you can be receptive and able to take life in. And to work through this pain, you may need to reach out for external support, and through someone else holding the space for you, you will be able to go where you wouldn't have gone by yourself, or where you wouldn't go by yourself. But the main thing is that you do what you need to do to gradually move out of the prison of lack, or the desert of lack that you've been living in, so that you can live a life that is worth living, and where your needs, your emotional needs, are generally met. Because what took place during your early years wasn't your fault. You didn't deserve to be deprived. You deserve to have your emotional needs met. And that starts with you taking the right steps. If you'd like to find out more about the services that I offer, please go to www.oliverjrcooper.co.uk or email me at info@oliverjrcooper.co.uk. And I'm looking forward to assisting you on your journey.